The Moon, during its early formation, was much closer to Earth than it is today and experienced intense volcanic activity due to gravitational interactions with our planet and the Sun. For millions of years, the Moon was a barren, volcanic landscape, continually covered by eruptions from its mountains and the surface. New research indicates that the Moon's orbit may have transformed it into a molten monster for several tens of millions of years. This situation can be somewhat compared to Io, Jupiter's moon, which is the most volcanically active body in the solar system. At the beginning of the solar system's history, a large protoplanet collided with a young Earth. The debris from this collision combined to form two distinct bodies, ultimately shaping Earth and the Moon. Initially, these two orbited each other very closely, but over time, the Moon gradually moved away from Earth while becoming solid. As time passed, the Sun's gravity exerted a greater influence on the Moon. Although the Moon was farther from the Sun, both Earth and the Sun exerted equal gravitational pulls on it. This gravitational disruption caused the Moon's interior to become turbulent, melting rocks and creating a layer of magma that reached the surface. Francis Nimmo, a planetary scientist at the University of California, told Space.com the Moon is in a kind of confusion. It doesn't know which orbit to choose, and therefore it may end up in a strange orbit. Nimmo presented his study results in March at the 56th Annual Lunar and Planetary Science Conference. New research suggests that the surface of the Moon may have been reshaped by lava flows around 4.35 billion years ago. These lava flows likely filled previous impact craters, making lunar rocks and zircons appear younger. Determining the exact age of the Moon poses specific challenges. Various methods exist for this purpose, ranging from studying rock samples returned to Earth to examining zircons within those rocks and attempting to reconstruct the movements of planets and their moons billions of years ago. However, all these methods can yield contradictory answers. One of the earliest methods scientists used to determine the Moon's age was examining the ages of lunar rocks. Samples returned from NASA's Apollo program were studied and measured. Currently, new samples are being collected through China's Chang'e program, providing fresh materials for research. The second line of evidence for determining the Moon's age comes from the zircons present in the rocks. Zircons are silicate minerals found both on Earth and the Moon and are among the oldest materials in the solar system. While rocks may melt and reform, zircons are resilient enough to only melt at very high temperatures. Francis Nimmo says, zircons are very durable. It's difficult to destroy a zircon after it has formed. One way zircons can be reset is through the melting of the Moon's surface due to intense volcanic activity. Both methods for determining age have their challenges. Zircons provide higher accuracy but require incredibly precise measurements, which is why scientists have only begun to analyze them in the last 2 decades. Lunar rocks, on the other hand, present more complicated interpretations and offer differing ages. Nevertheless, combining these two methods suggests the Moon is about 4.35 billion years old. Scientists also use dynamic models for a better understanding. Studies show that after forming its metallic core, Earth absorbed a significant amount of iron-loving metals. These metals settled in the Earth's mantle, constituting about 0.5% of Earth's mass after the core's formation, known as the late veneer. However, these metals were absorbed when many materials in the early solar system were still in chaotic motion, and by 4.35 billion years ago, those materials were no longer present. On Earth, volcanic materials are rich in silicates, thickening the lava and forming tall volcanoes. However, on the Moon, it seems that the lavas were less viscous, allowing them to seep through the crust rather than pile up. At that time, the Earth was much closer to the Moon than it is today, and in the sky, the Moon appeared twice as large as it does now.